Hey, Kowalski here, and welcome back to another video. Now, this is gonna be one of the last videos that I'm gonna make before going to the tournament, and in honor of this tournament that I'm gonna be playing at sea. And this tournament at sea is really a time for me to relax and focus on chess and enjoy myself, really. You're gonna see a lot of videos after the tournament, but in honor of this tournament, I'm gonna show you how I prepared for it. Now I'm gonna quickly go to the CD that I bought, because this was a big part of my prep. Now as you can see, we have a lot of chapters here introducing the Sicilian, the reverse Sicilian, and it's really Marin's English Love. It's written by the gentleman in the picture here, Mihail Marin, and it's really a complete repertoire for white after 1c4. Now it actually is, because I've used prep from right here, and I'm gonna show you the games exactly from this last chapter here, the Dutch and Indian setups. Like I basically had a game that I played 10 or more moves of prep. So going over to the games, actually, closing this, going over to the games, this is a game that I hate. This is a game that I hate, I despise, and it's played at my last tournament that I participated, and it's really an awful game, and you're gonna see why. So here I begin with the move c4, just like you saw, and f5. So right from the beginning, f5 is an idiotic move, and I got so hyped up at the board. I was like, and I was playing against a guy rated 2000, so I'm 1500 by the way. So playing a guy 500 rate points rated higher than you, and he's playing right into your hand. I played g3, and I'm really hyped up about this. Knight f6, bishop g2, e6. Oh my god, as you saw, the same line, the exact same line. e3, that was recommended. That I knew this. Knight e2, castles, and now d4. And look at my advantage. I already have an advantage at move 7. Here he plays the knight to e4, and I play top engine moves. Just prep. It's just prep. It's so funny. He plays d5. I take again. This is all prep. Knight f4, knight b4, and here he deviates. Like I knew. I didn't know about this knight before. Actually, what he surprised me with, because this is a move, and here I have to remember for the next time, obviously, but queen b3 is the best move, but I didn't know that. Here I played a3 attacking the knight. Really, I didn't spend a lot of time on this move, but here queen b3 really just attacks, puts pressure, because it attacks the knight, but it's not threatening the knight. But once the knight moves, it's threatening the pawn, and here after c6, now you can play a3, and after the move g5, you can take the pawn, because now you have no threat of losing the pawn, and you're gonna play b5, and it's gonna be awesome. But with playing a3 right away, you allow g5, and then you take the knight, and then you take the pawn, so you're up a pawn. But now my opponent here should have played just bishop takes on b4, and I was calculating, knight takes e4, fe4, and then we're gonna play. Oh, by the way, you want to know what the top engine line in this position is? It's bishop e4, and after takes you just go check, and after rook f7 you take the bishop. So you're gonna see later in the game. I'm so mind boggled about this game. I was winning the whole game, and you're gonna see what happened at the end. So ef4, and my opponent plays c6. Again, top engine move, b5. Top engine move, I take the pawn. And here, right, the top engine move is knight a4 to remaneuver, but here I decide to take the knight and play an approach with queen e2. This was really idiotic, as now I return to my computer-like playing bishop e3, and here after bishop a6, really the advantage is mine, and after king h8, now just rook fc1, and after this move right here, you look at the bar, look at the engine bar. I want to cry. I actually want to cry. And now I have two winning moves, and I looked at them and I said, maybe it's not. Bro, I'm so idiotic. Bro, I looked at rook takes. That's the best move. Just rook takes, d takes, bishop takes e4. How are you stopping this? How are you stopping this? Legit. You can try something like rook a7. Okay, feel free. And here the best move is, because you can play this, but that's not the best move, because that allows bishop c5. But you know, look, just I still have the advantage. The best move here is rook c1. And you don't care about this. You just don't care. You take the pawn. Okay, you can get a check, but okay, rook c1 back. Okay, you go back. Let's see, queen a4. Bishop takes on c6. Like, you're not even checkmating or anything. You're just simply much better. And I failed to understand that. I didn't see the attack, and I played queen e6 after bishop c4. And here he gives me again the opportunity to play rook takes c4 or bishop takes e4. Both moves work. And I looked at it again, but I couldn't see anything concrete. But again, maybe next time I should look more into this. I don't know. And really, just bishop f1 back, and now I just take and like takes, and I'm winning again. I'm winning again here. I'm simply winning, and but I'm an idiot, and I just played this move. Okay, I should have taken with the rook. What was I afraid of? I cannot know. I cannot possibly know. What I just play here, like, and here you don't even take the bishop back. Here it's just mate. Apparently it's mate in 9, but I didn't see it. Okay, this is very disappointing. This is very disappointing here. This whole line. Yeah, no. I don't even have words. I'm just gonna show you the rest of the game, and here it's a draw, and now I'm winning again. Oh no! Like, I feel like I'm in a guess the elo with Levy. Gotham chess, that is. And here, I'm just completely winning. Here I just have to play like just some simple moves, and I played that. That's like the top engine move, and here again top engine move, and here. And here we agreed to a draw, by the way. Just look at the advantages, plus 7.6. But really, I didn't play this move. I was scared because he had this move, and I failed to calculate the fact that here I'm completely fine. I'm completely fine. There's nothing. And the best move after rook c7, it's queen e3 check, king g2, and like queen d2 check, and this was the line that I was afraid of. But now just queen e7, and how do you stop this, bro? I'm so disappointed with myself, that the fact that I made a draw right here is very disappointing. But okay, that's not the only place that I'm taking inspiration from. I actually have a book that was written by the chess master that I played, and it's basically rare Najdorf lines. And I want to show you this game played between Carlsen and Nepomniachtchi, and you're gonna see how Carlsen went on to play a4 here in the Najdorf. And this is my prep also. As you can see, this is a rare line. This is like the second line here. A4. It doesn't focus my camera, but you saw that it's written a4. And as you know, like, the basic theory says that if the main lines, like the very main lines, bishop c4, bishop g5, are not played, then you strike back with e5. And here, knight f3, by far the most popular move, h6 and g3. Magnus chooses a system, and what's funny about this is that Giri played a game against Nepomniachtchi a month earlier, and he went for this g3 approach, and he beat Jan. This approach is just combining two different rare lines with one another. Here the most popular move is bishop c4, and here after g3, bishop g2, you castle. And I'm actually gonna follow exactly what Magnus did in this game. I'm actually just gonna do exactly that, and hopefully I'm gonna beat my opponents just like he does. And you know, now knight h4, preparing you know, some ideas, defending the pawn, I don't really know. And here knight b to d7 by Jan. This is an inaccuracy, but okay, now Magnus has the advantage. But you know, it's still a playable position. So Magnus goes with the knight to f5. That was the whole plan. But you know, at first it looks weird, like to put a pawn right here. That's very weak, because what are you gonna do after black attacks it? Well, black doesn't really have a way to attack it. That's the point. So you know, Jan goes queen c7, and Magnus just goes a5, locks the pawn, and rook a b8, now trying to break through, and simply bishop e3, and now rook c8. We have queen d3, always a useful move in many Sicilians. Bishop f8 and rook fc1. Now you're gonna have this pawn defended once the knight moves. b6 by Jan, that's a very big inaccuracy, and now simply Magnus doesn't really look back. He plays a takes b6, the best move, knight b6, and now rook takes a6. Magnus picks up a pawn, and the knight c4 attempt by Jan to just you know, get the initiative back and get some counterplay really is refuted by the move knight d5, and now queen d8, but simply b3, and you're not winning this pawn anymore. So we have a trade, and you know, Jan attacks the knight, so Magnus defends the knight. We have queen c8, and now Magnus, a classy move, just takes the knight, damages the structure, and just look at black's position. I mean, it's horrible. This bishop is never gonna see daylight again, and you know, this queen and the rooks are staring simply into nothing, like they're staring at a concrete wall. And just rook a7, Magnus even gives up a pawn to get an attack here. And okay, now you gotta be careful. Magnus plays rook b1 first. I mean, yes, here you could have taken the pawn, and then, you know, taken the queen. There are a lot of ways to win the position. Magnus just chooses to be solid. Rook b1 and queen e3, and now you're gonna see in a moment that, you know, he even gives up this pawn, because of course you cannot take it. Now you're gonna lose the bishop. So you know, basically black is very passive. And now Magnus gives up the pawn, but goes with both rooks on the 7th rank. And here, actually, after the move, this move, after this move, Nepomniachtchi resigned, because here just rook takes, and now after this you can give a check, but I mean, you're just picking up the bishop. Here actually the best move is king h3, because if king f3, now you get b5, and there might be some problems here, but you're still winning. I mean, you're still winning. So but this is not the last source of you know, inspiration. We also have the Chess Informant, a classic that you must know if you're a chess player. These are like the most interesting games from the year, like this is from the last year. This is the 150th edition, and you know, let's see a very interesting game also played by Carlsen in the Meltwater Tour Champions. Now Magnus won that event because he played he played out of his mind. But this game, I'm not gonna spoil the result, but he played against Levon Aronian and with the black pieces in a very strange opening. So let's see the game. We have e4 by Levon and knight c6. Hey, yeah, you're seeing that right. We have knight c6 by Magnus, basically saying that I'm better than you, I can beat you in any opening. This is called the Nimzovich opening, but it's usually not regarded as a good opening. As you can see, white has an advantage from move 4, basically. And what's funny is Carlsen actually played against Nepomniachtchi, and that game continued with knight f3 by Jan. And there were a lot of games in this variation, so like many top players have actually tried playing this in Rapid and in Blitz, but usually white scores very well here, like almost 50% of the times in all variations. So bishop d3 is maybe not the most aggressive approach, but simply knight g7, knight e2, and h5, an inaccuracy by Magnus, but really when playing this opening, what is not an inaccuracy? Bishop g5, and now queen d7, h4, bishop takes d3, queen d3, knight f5, knight d2, bishop e7, bishop takes, knight c takes, knight f3, and just long castles. And Levon really has a much better position. Let's see how he's gonna convert this advantage. We have a4, and now knight g6 played by Magnus, and g3, just restricting the knight. Always a pawn that's 2 squares away from a knight really is restricting his squares. That's something you should know. f6, b4. Levon slowly marching forward on the queen side, Magnus trying to break on the king side. We have king b8, a prophylactic move, and now just castles. And here Magnus, tries to mount an attack on the f file, and Levon kind of tries to hide his king. As you can see, Magnus is really rearranging his pieces, and Levon also does so, but Levon in a more defensive approach. So Magnus goes back, and here Levon actually, comes with the other rook to the party. Now knight g4 check, king g2, and fe5. Now Magnus really opens the gates. We have d takes on e5, and now an inaccuracy, pretty big inaccuracy by Magnus, queen back to e8. Now this allows a very, very vague, kind of approach by Levon, like rook e2, and then like let's say rook f4, so that you can actually take the pawn, otherwise the knight would have been hanging. But then you play something like rook f to e1, and then you don't really want to take the pawn because of knight d4, but then like you have knight takes on e5, and then you don't want to take the rook because of course the queen is hanging, and you want to play something like queen b1. Again, white is better, but I don't blame Levon for not seeing exactly why in this position, because it's very vague. But the point is, you're gonna come in and you're gonna attack, you're gonna push, and black is not gonna have all that many defenses. But okay, in the game after queen e8, Levon comes with an inaccuracy of his own, knight h3, and rook f5, simply rook f5. Now knight h to g5, and the position is now in the balance because Magnus can play this move. And really now after knight takes, we have knight takes and queen to d4, and now Magnus is actually up a pawn. So but his position is very, very loose, so he decides to go back with the knight attacking the queen. And now he plays the move rook f6, which is an inaccuracy because of the move b5. Here better was something like queen g6 to try and trade queens, but again, it's a rapid game. They cannot see all the best moves. So I have b5, knight a5, and queen h7. Here again, an inaccuracy, because the best move here would have been f4, but what is this? And after knight c4, the whole idea is to just go like rook f2, and let's say some like a5 is played. You can take here something, and here you just go to e2, you attack the pawn, like you don't even care about the king. It's just again very vague, and it's not very concrete. So you know, queen h7 attacks the pawn, and Magnus actually gives up the pawn. That's the right thing to do. And now just here, if you play rook f6, you know, the engine wants a repetition of moves, but Magnus decides to go back with the rook, and now Levon really capitalizes on this and plays the move f4. Now the pawn is pinned, so you have to push the pawn, otherwise it's lost. And now f5. This pawn is going. This pawn is really going. Queen e5, and now the move f6. That's an inaccuracy, because here, you know, you should have played something more tame. But Levon decides to push forward, like to really push forward. And here the idea is, after the pawn is taken, to play a move like knight f7 and you know, really claim some advantage here, which you know, you can claim, because you're gonna be now with equal material, but you're gonna have two passed pawns. So Magnus here, running out of options, he plays queen takes on c3, but this move completely blunders the game. And now just the move f7, and this fork is coming. There are a lot of things that are threatened, and you know, Magnus tries to bring the knight and deliver a check, and you know, you try to checkmate Levon, but it's just, I mean, it's not gonna work. Okay, knight f3, this is a mate threat, but Levon just plays knight d7 check, and here he takes the pawn. And now there is no more mate, the king simply runs away, and there is no more check because just the knight picks it up. So here Magnus tries knight takes on e1, but now it's mate in 8 after f8 queen, and you know, Magnus resigns. But here, if you try to like deliver checks, for example, you can deliver a check on e2, like let's say king g5, you deliver another check, like let's say king g6, like you can just run your king to h7, and I mean, there's nothing more to be done here. Here you know, you can play a move like a6, but you know, this is again just mate. Like, you cannot prevent mate, it's unpreventable, it's unavoidable. So Magnus resigns, and Levon wins a very nice game. Now I hope you guys enjoy it, and you know, I really look into a lot of material so that I can understand certain positions, and I know that looking at the Sicilian helps me understand some English positions that turn into a reverse Sicilian, as you saw in the beginning. And I know that certain you know, Dutch defenses can turn around into some Grand Prix attacks. There's a lot of you know, black and white in these positions, and the positions are really repeating with the opposite colors. So, you know, again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Kowalski out.